Hello, everyone. Welcome again to The Journey, this ultimate, beautiful podcast from startup to success. This is a platform where we invite entrepreneurs, people who've done nothing to something, rags to riches, zero to hero. And here, my goodness, he's the one that oversees this massive, great company from really zero customers all the way to $1 billion. He's been with the company well over a decade. And instead of me introducing to you exactly who he is, I want him to talk about himself. So we have the boom man himself, Mr. Eric Johnstone.
Thank you, Tan. But first of all, let me say you are rocking the orange bow tie.
Ooh.
I'm enjoying that. So I was on a plane the other day and I had my orange watch on. I had my orange shoes. I had an orange shirt on. The lady next to me, she's like, I love orange. So what's the orange about? So it gave me an opportunity to introduce myself and talk a little bit what I do. Those details matter. So I appreciate the fact that you're rocking the orange.
Look at that. And I'm sure he should talk to you as well because you look good.
Well, I appreciate that. But, hey, I've been with Ambit, 17 years, and I would just say that it has been, I like the word journey, because it has been a journey, and it's just been so refreshing and a great experience for me is to be around people who are entrepreneurial in spirit. I've seen a lot of people like yourself develop into leaders, into leadership roles. And, I found out a long time ago, if you want to be successful in anything you do, find people who have to be around who are a lot smarter and more creative and better at their jobs than you are, and you learn from them. So I'm very fortunate to be able to work with people like you, and then a great team back at the corporate office that not only make you guys look good, but make me look good and the whole department look good. So I'm very, very fortunate.
No doubt. Eric, while you're on there, I want to talk a little bit about the culture of Ambit Energy. Can you describe in like maybe a word or two, a sense, the culture that you've seen created that's so unique about Ambit Energy?
Absolutely. I mentioned that entrepreneurial. I think within any department, whether it be IT, the marketing team, field development, everybody who really thrives within Ambit really has that entrepreneurial spirit. If you want something done or fixed, you just go and do it and get it done and not have to go through processes and all these different things because, the bottom line is what can you do to move the needle and help our consultants, help our customers, and help people internally thrive. And so just, roll up your sleeves and get something done and don't be, pigeonholed or stuck into these processes or things. Just go ahead and get something done, move the needle every day.
Amen. I think what sometimes make a good entrepreneur is the minute they have an idea and the time between execution.
Absolutely.
They should not wait 5 weeks by the time I should call this person to the time. No, call that person now this morning, bam, bam. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Don't, pigeonholed up in there.
Yeah, I keep a notebook by my bed and, you have a thought in the middle of the night. You wake up and write something down because, as we get older, I forget things all the time. I want to make sure I have that notebook just to put something down. Half the time you'll wake up and look at it and say, what was I thinking? But, 3 or 4 crazy ideas out there, you might see something that resonates and works and you can go and just get it done. So, yeah. So
because that happens to you too when you forget things. I thought it only happened to me, man.
Every day I forget everything. You're TN, right? So, yeah, I can remember that.
Yeah, that's it. I think I am. I'm just kidding.
Middle of the day, right?
Yeah. Eric, I think, I always when I talk to corporate, they truly have the eagle's eye view of the company. They see things like consultants who are on the ground moving like ants. We don't see. We're out there. We know we got to get the A numbers and C numbers, consulting the challenges. There's so much behind the scenes behind it. Talk to me about the biggest challenge you faced yourself and how do you tackle it?
So, I think one of the things is, the communication aspect of it. One of the things of our group is we're responsible for communicating what's going on both, internally and then helping you guys communicate with your teams and people out there. There's so many avenues now of communication out there. In the past 17 years, things have changed so much. I mean, this podcast, for example, didn't exist. All these social medias and different mechanisms. It's like one of the biggest challenges is figuring out, how do we get that information out, that the way people digest it and the way different people digest different things of information. Mm-hmm. But I think one of the things that we found is the message is always the message. Mm-hmm. If you keep the message simple and straightforward and get the message out as soon as possible, and then utilize our leaders that are out there to help us, spread that word. But, I think the biggest challenge in the past is that things are happening. We need to communicate it fast and get it out there. And then whether it's good or bad, deal with the effects of it and then work past it and move forward and then focus on the next thing.
Oh my goodness, that's so true. I think communication reduces conflict, not just in business, but in life. I'm talking about with your kids, spouse,
Yes.
friends, and just communicate with them on it. Now, as you communicate stuff with Ambit, sometimes there's going to be some challenging news and sometimes going to be some good news. On the challenging news, before you deploy them, what kind of expectations do you have? Like, man, I know this is going to be good for the company. We're ripping off the Band-Aid. What is your attitude towards challenges?
So when it comes to that standpoint, get out there ahead of it and get out of it in front. Nobody likes to hear bad news, but the longer you hold bad news in, that's when the unknown creates a lot more chaos and problems than that. So people are resilient. They can handle bad news. So I always say, it's not what happens to you, it's how you react to it. I tell my kids that. We try to live with that philosophy. If something bad is going to happen, but it's get out ahead of it, take it on full force, and then move forward, because you learn a lot from the mistakes or the bad things that are happening, and then when the good things come along, it makes you that much more ready to celebrate those victories. So you have losses and victories. So you get the losses out there first, you talk about those immediately, and you celebrate the victories and move forward.
Amen. Yeah, there's got to be some setbacks from time to time, and it's not because we want it; it's just part of the journey.
Part of life.
I always think what kind of makes a real Ambit consultant from the non-real ones is when challenges come, either they face it, tackle it head on, like you mentioned, or they just complain, wimp out, kind of like, oh, it's not for me anymore. And always they drop the towel so quick. Those are the ones I really don't want, and they don't want to give up too easy. But exactly, those who have resilient attitude, like you mentioned, is fantastic. Now, talk about the consultants. I think would be great. Eric Johnstone, man, I think you've seen a vast amount of consultants in the Ambit organization. Some of them are extremely successful. I mean, congratulations to them, and my hat's off, right? And some of them, man, they just sign up like a gym membership and you never see them again. What's the difference between a successful entrepreneur and like a successful consultant and the non-successful that you've seen from your point of view?
Those who are successful in this business do something every day to move the needle of their business. Now, it could be out there, which is really what makes you successful, is talking to potential customers and consultants. But there is something that you can be doing every day to help your business, whether it's making that extra phone call to somebody on your team who's struggling, or setting up a meeting or training in your area to help some people who may not be on your team be successful. I mean, there's always something you could be doing to move the needle. You don't have to work this business 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, but every day do something to help move the needle. And it's okay to fail your way to success sometimes. If you're not out there, absolutely. If you're not out there, working your business, if you're out there working your business, I'll put it that way. If you're out there actively pursuing and talking to people about your business, about your organization, there's going to be failures. Mm-hmm. It's going to happen. People who are successful in this business, they learn that they can fail their way to success by just getting out there and talking about this opportunity.
Look at that. And Eric, I think as you mentioned, those who fail the way to success, once in a while, Ambit Energy does reward those who pump the pedal. I mean, they are freaking bulldozers, and they go on these 5-star trips, which and they spend this amazing time, which are on that. What I'm trying to get here is that as they fail the way to success, like it's almost like a paradox, Mm-hmm. When you get there, tell me one story you see? What's common in all of them? They're all different walks of life. They get in one place in this resort. What do you see that's in common in all of them?
Positive attitude. They have this attitude.
Bump, man, that deserves a bump there, man. Uh-huh.
So I did an experiment the other day. I was coming back from Ohio, and I texted my wife this, and you're flying back from an event or flying back from a trip, and you're tired, and you're in the airport, and the airports and the planes don't make it easy sometimes for you to have a positive attitude and be in a good mood. But I decided I was going to try something 10. I was going to smile the entire day. I was going to smile until my face hurt, and it did at the end of the day. I want to tell you, I've got text messages to prove it. I had so many people that would come up to me. I had a SMU shirt on or something, but I was smiling. I had my orange watch, and it was amazing how many people just started conversations with me just because I was smiling. The flight attendants were nicer to me. People that I was ordering food from struck up a conversation half the time. If they weren't smiling, half the time they saw me smile, they would smile. It was amazing, just that little bitty change that I made during that day, just smiling at people, started conversations, and I got to meet and learn a lot about people. My son's going off to college, so I talked to so many people who had the different kind of shirts on, from the colleges experience, and just found out what their college life was like, and just got some insights and nuggets. I could tell them a little bit what I did for a living, learn what they did. So, a smile and a positive attitude goes a long, long way. And that's what I love about, being able to go to these events and be around, our successful consultants, because they got that attitude and that winning positivity that just makes you want to mimic that and be a part of that. So,
oh my goodness, that struck a chord. Another bump there.
Fist bump.
Yeah, this is amazing.
My fist is gonna be sore by now.
I know.
Okay. Yeah, you do as much as you want to do, man. This is good.
I'm thinking when you say that, a smile is free. No one has to you don't have to buy it, train for it, and everything. You just gotta do it.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't cost anyone anything, just a smile. And sometimes there's rainy days and people either complain about it, and other people dance in the rain. Yep. And then, oh my goodness, and I'm glad you see that among all these great consultants popping through. And Eric, I kind of want to know this. I mean, that's not one of the questions we got prepared for, but tell me one of your most proudest moment in Ambit Energy. Like one moment you look back and, man, this was a smile on my face.
That's a great question. Wasn't prepared for that, but still, because there's been so many moments within Ambit. I just hearken it back to hearing the stories from, our consultants who have had their lives changed because of this. And you can't really pick out one because there's so many, which is a good thing to have. But
real lives change.
Yeah, right. You mentioned this about Ambit is made up of people of all different walks of life. And, being able to be a part of this company and getting to hear their stories and meet them, I feel like, I have grown as a person just to be able to meet different people, different walks of life, and understand that this business is a business for everyone. It doesn't matter where you come from, where you've been, where you plan to go, or what you've done in the past. This opportunity is out there for everyone. And just hearing those success stories and seeing those people whose lives have changed because of this, those are my finest moments. And so it's great to be able to hear those stories.
Look at that. And there's two other upon closing. One, talk to us about the videos. Like every year, Ambit and Ambition, you make these awesome videos. You're cool, Eric Johnstone now, but man, you could be an actor. I think you should Oscar nominee out there. Talk to us. Hey, these videos out there, how do you prepare for them? What the message you want to convey? A little bit more about that.
Yeah, well, for those who may not know the videos, we do these little spoof videos, and it kind of started out just we wanted to put something out there that was just kind of fun and acting stupid on camera. Good news is I'm very good at acting stupid and having fun with it, but they have kind of morphed into this kind of a cult following, and this business it's hard work, and it's a lot of time and effort go into it, but it's also a fun business.
Oh yeah.
So we just want to keep it fun, and the fact that we get to do these videos and just kind of have fun with it, and because it's a lot of work that goes into it behind the scenes. I mean, if everybody could look here, just all this.
Oh my goodness, all this equipment, Nate, Brandon, all the text messages between weekends. Oh my goodness.
We just get to hear talk. We've got a whole crew here that's putting everything together, and it's a lot of work that goes into those things. And you've been in a couple of those videos as well, and you kind of see it, but. It's truly rewarding to hear people, hey, it's a way to have some fun and celebrate this business. And, it's, like I said, it's fun. So I enjoy doing it. I won't be quitting my day job, because if you see all the videos, the acting is pretty subpar, but just shows, hey, you can just have fun with this thing. And, there's no pressure.
Yeah. You definitely got out of your comfort zone.
Real quick, you've been asking me a lot of questions.
Oh my goodness. This is
so. All right. So what's been your favorite moment, with your Ambit journey? I know you've come a long way as far as, your progression as a leader, pretty much won every award you can win. So what's been your favorite part about being part of Ambit?
I think two things always come to mind with it. What's my favorite part? I've always wanted to give my wife the phone call to tell her she could be a stay-at-home mom. And that was so that we worked for it so hard. And not just 1 year, 2 years. It's like it was 6 years in the making. And the day in, day out grind, that the phone call we have to pick up, the meeting, the drive, the sheer real sacrifice that no one really sees, and the painful moments we just have to endure just to get where we are today. And I remember giving her that phone call. I told her I think it's time. The residual or the reoccurring income is definitely there. And you could decide now. And then she came home, and she's always so exhausted when she comes home from work or commute. And to me, that favorite moment is just to make that happen. The second of all, just the story. Eric, I think you just you nailed it straight on. we've known each other for over a decade. I mean, it's a lot of time. And we travel the world with each other.
Depending on who you ask, it may seem longer.
Yeah. and then all the stories we hear, and these micros, not the big ones. That one's just, it's very rare, but the small ones, like, hey, I get a chance to buy a TV for my kids now. And it was like $200-300 from Walmart. Like, hey, because they had a crack, and thanks to Ambit's weekly commission coming, that was amazing. Those small things that come to me are just, I thrive on that. I get a major high on that. So those are the two things. Yeah.
Right. We won't tell anybody you put your wife to work today. She was back there behind the camera doing some work too, so we appreciate that. But yeah, so awesome.
Yeah. And last but not least, just to close, Eric, this is where I'm asking you to go deep down in your, like, the boom Eric Johnstone DNA. You know, this putting all titles aside. You're not a vice president of marketing anymore right now. And during this couple minutes, tell us a principle, like a quote, like a successful principle or a successful drive that makes Eric Johnstone, and that motivates you, push you, drive you to do what you do every day. Like, what's that X factor? And allow me to take a minute here. You're so upbeat, energetic, so full of life. You walk into a room and it could just, you light up the room, Eric. It's just an amazing, you don't give yourself enough credit for it, and I will publicly right now to every single 8 cameras right here. There is something very unique and special about you that very few people put into words, and I'm going to do it now, right here, right now, because no one's really done it before. And I've always wondered, you know, Eric, you are the perfect person for this job, perfect person for this role in this business. And people always wonder, man, if I want to be like Eric, what do I have to do? What is he doing? What's behind the scene in his head, his mind, his heart, his brain, his fiber of his body? What is it that drives you, Eric? I want to know.
Well, I'll start by saying, I'm not always.
We understand you're human.
And so I think, many years ago, it's funny you said that. A couple people that I work with, Daryl Starkweather and Kristen Legate, we had these meetings, and you have all these meetings that go on, and there's behind the scenes stuff that has to take place. And, I would walk into a meeting or to a room, and if I was having a bad day or in a bad mood, everybody could sense it and know it. So when you talk about I can bring a room up, I also have that. I guess if that's my superpower, then my evil power is to bring a room down. And, with them talking to me and telling me that, first of all, that they thought enough of me to tell me that, give me that feedback, which wasn't easy to do, really showed that, I work with some great people. And the second thing was, I realized that, having that superpower, which I don't necessarily think I have, but if you're able to come into a room or be around people, you got to know that it's your attitude and the way you approach things matters to other people. And if you can lift people up by your attitude and things you can do, that's what I always try to keep in mind and focus on. We all have our bad days. We all have our different things, but, you don't have to necessarily bring up a room the whole time, but still bring down a room. Don't bring it down a room with your negative attitude. If you got stuff that's in your closet that's going on, keep it there. Keep things, because, when you're out there around people, you need to, put your best face forward. And the residual stuff all works itself out anyway, but don't bring your baggage to other people's party. I guess that's what I say. Don't show up at a party with a suitcase.
And you have a specific quote you live by?
I said it earlier because I live by quotes when you talk to your kids. I've got 2 high schoolers, so I parent through sound bites now because, their attention spans are all over the place.
Parent through sound bites. That's
cool. I talk to my son. We love sports together. So, throughout when we're talking sports or different things, I try to push those little life lessons and things in. But I've always told them since they were very, very young, I said it before, it's not what happens to you, it's how you react to it.
Oh yeah, deep.
Because things are going to happen and we can't control that. And also say, don't ever lie to me, because if you lie to me and I can't help you, I need to know what's going on. We all make mistakes. Just be truthful about it. So kind of talking about that communication, hey, if you screw up, let me know about it, and then we'll figure out how to fix it. But if I don't know the problem, I can't fix it.
That's so true.
Yeah, those are a few of my sound bites throughout the years. And, it's amazing having kids helps you when you're also working, with others as well, especially as, the kids get younger and younger in the workforce.
Yeah.
I learn a lot from my kids as well. So, you're always learning from other people. So which is why another great thing about my job, I get to learn a lot from great people like you. So I appreciate the opportunity to be here.
All right. Any last words you want to tell to the world?
No, this has been fun. I mean, so I enjoy this. I enjoy my life. I tell people I have the best job in America because, I get to do cool things like this and get to hang out with people who are, like I said, a lot smarter and better at this than I am. And I learn something every day. So I'll try not to screw it up.
All right. Thank you so much, Eric. Thank you for your time. Tuck it in, man.
Right.
All right. I appreciate it so much. All right.